Future Card Buddy Fight deck profile. So this time it's on, once more, Dra-Ultimate DD Dragon Tribe. So I just, today, the day that you're seeing this go up, I just got, Impact Triple Punisher. So I didn't do an unboxing because I was kind of too excited to, get it done. So I kind of, opened up everything real quickly. And what I ended up doing is I ended up already customizing my decks. Magic Rod I couldn't really fix. Cotton Roll, not that much either, but Dra-Ultimate. I've had an idea for Dra-Ultimate my whole entire time, and this is it. It's I haven't tested it out yet. I was about to, and then I want to do this. It's pure, but how I feel it's going to test out is that it's purely aggressive. So I feel like it's going to do great in an actual battle, and it will do perfectly because there's an amount of aggressiveness in it. So let's get started. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and donate to the Patreon, and yeah, let's get started. So our flag is Dragon World, my special thing. Even though I didn't get the double flag, I still got this, which I'm really got by. Yuga and his luminous chant, Aditi's Dragon Brigade descend, luminize, Dratiti. Really nice. I would call it Dra-Ultimate, like that's the one thing I would change. I would just say, instead of Dratiti's Dra-Ultimate, but everything else I would keep about it. My buddy is Gargantua Dragon Tempest mode. 10,000 size 2, 10,000 power, 5,000 defense, critical of 2. Its call cost is put a card from your drop zone into its soul and pay 2 gauge, but you have a lot of G-Evos. You're probably not going to call it by that. It's, when it enters the field by G-Evo, it gets +1 crit. Then if you've attacked 3 or more times during this turn, it will get +1 crit, and it also has Penetrate and Triple Attack and Soul Guard. So if it enters by G-Evo and you've attacked 3 or more times before you call it during that turn, it will become a 4 crit beast. And it has Triple Attack and Penetrate, which is really nice. It's like Cyclone mode from the anime, you know, when it's placed, destroy a monster, then if it's placed by G-Evo, destroyed another monster. This thing basically is that, but the aggressive version, because both of them have triple attack, so, yeah, he's really great. He's actually powerful. I mean, the only thing I hate about him is that, unlike Slash Mode that I used to run in this deck, which I don't, but I still own, Slash Mode still had, like, an on-place ability. He doesn't, so he's really useless unless you call him by G-Evo. Let's get started. So we don't run any size zeros. So let's get started with size 1s. Garbird. It has 4,000 power, 1k defense, critical of 2. Pay a gauge and put attack card into soul. That's its call cost. And then if it all duty dragon tribes on your field, get plus 3,000 power, and he has Soul Guard. Now the reason behind why I run Garbird and nothing over that is because Garbird is the most aggressive out of the Guard trio, first of all, for any of his forms. So obviously I'm going to run him. And I don't have any other better sized ones that are more aggressive besides taking Gardra, but he only has double attack and Garbird stacks power. More importantly too, I do have another DD Dragon Tribe deck, the one where all the healing stuff went from Impact Triple Punisher, which I will show you guys probably after this if I want to. I didn't get rid of them, and I have a deck for them, and I think it might work. I don't know. 4 copies of Gale Gardra, 7k power, 1k defense, critical of 1, size 1. Wins card attacks. If you have an item equipped that's DD Dragon Tribe for this turn, it gets double attack. This monster, not the item. Which is really good because it's just stack. I will eventually buy Landsguard Dragon and then put it in here. I'll probably, since I'll only be able to buy 2, I'll take out like something else that's bad just so I could have like that ultra power because that thing's really strong. And then 4 of our last size 1, Nano Gardra. 3k power, 1k defense, critical of 2. If you have a Dragon on your field, it's +1 crit permanently, and then when a monster enters your field by G-Evo, you can pay a gauge if you do stand it. I run 7 cards that have G-Evo. 90% of the time, if you call this, you are going to get that ability off. Back in my old deck when I couldn't do that much. And now into our size 2s. Let me just count how many Gargas I have, because all my size 2 are Gargas. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 size 2s and all of them are Gargas. By the way, all these Gargas are from Impact Triple Punisher, but I'm going to say them anyways. 3 copies of Return Mode, 6k power, 6k defense, critical of 2. Paid 2 gauge and put the top card into the soul, but you're not going to call it that way because G-Evo. When it enters the field, send the top 3 cards of your deck to the drop zone. Add up to 1 DD Dragon Tribe monster from among them into your hand, and then if this card entered by G-Evo, add another 1. And then it has Move and Solar Guard. So, I know some people aren't running this, but I'm running it because it does search out the deck more, and that could actually help you search the impact. Like, for example, since I only wrote one copy of the impact, the first part sucks though, because if it just enters the field normally, you lose two, and if there's no monster among any of the three, then you lose all three. But it searches a monster and a card as long as it's called by GF, which means you can basically search out two cards from among them and you're only losing one. And that can help search out for the impact. Really nice. And it also has movement soul guard if I didn't mention that already. It's also good for the defensive. 3 of Daybreak Roar. I just realized that I have 3 of the size 3s. I mean, 3 of the size 2s. Both of them have move, and I run them both at 3. While the 2 that I have at, while the 2 Gargants that I have at 4 are meant for attacking, not defending. I just realized that. 3 of Daybreak Roar, and that special little foiling right there. 6k power, 6k, 5k defense, critical of 2. It can be used with all flags like all of the guard does. Pay gauge up with the top card taken to its soul. When it attacks, if you have another DD Dragon Tribe on your field, and that can count for your item or set spell too, draw 1. And then G-Evo, you know what it does, call a card on top, call a drag on top of it without paying its call cost after its attack. And that can include if it's being attacked and not if it's the one attacking. It also has movement soul guard. If only that draw ability says when it is attacking or is attacked, because that means I would actually consider leaving it on my field for like a turn just so I could draw one when they attack it. And then G-Evo, since it has a soul. And then 4 copies of Gargantua Dragon, the original one. You all know what he does. 7k power, 4k defense, critical of 2. He can be used off flags. He's pay a gauge, put the top card deck into a soul, G-Evo, and then he has double attack and soul guard. I've been waiting for so long to get him, and he's finally not only reprinted, but he is a card from Impact Triple Punisher, so I would definitely suggest picking up that, because that thing gives you a lot of support for Dramagi, which you can upgrade later off of Buddy Mart, and I will give you guys a link, since they just put out the support list that you can get for it today. Ninja, and a bunch of other stuff. And now to our last monster in our last size 2. 4 copies of Gargantua Dragon, Tempest Mode. 10,000 power, 5,000 defense, critical of 2. Put a card from your drop zone to its soul and pay 2 gauge. Why am I rereading this? I already read it. I'm stupid. That's just a waste of a few seconds. Now to our spells. 2 of DD Green Dragon Shield. You merely cast a card if your opponent doesn't have a center, and if you don't have a center and your opponent's attacking you, you gain 3 life after nullifying the attack. And you also have to have a DD Dragon Tribe on your field, which you do have an item. It's like you're working more for a green dragon shield, but in exchange you get like more life out of it. Even better too, I do have the other 4, just the good art and the good thing. 2 of Garsagan. You may not cast card if you've attacked 3 or more times this turn, counter, gain 2 life, and draw 2 cards. 2 copies. I wish I had 4. DD Green Dragon Shield, I don't care if it's at 2. You can run 2 if you want. I call it 2. I would run this thing at 4. I would cut the DD Green Dragon Shield because I have a total of 8 nullifiers without that thing. I would cut DD Green Dragon Shield for this, because in this deck, it's easy to get off 3 or more attacks in this turn. It's like Bot's X-Link, but instead of the 2 gauge, you gain 2 hand cards, and you gain 2 life. I would prefer this over Bot's X-Link. Which, this is actually really good. Garsagan, run it at 4. Get rid of DD Green Dragon Shield for all I care. 4 of Guard Pressure. This one's an iffy thing, and I say iffy because it's not entirely iffy. You merely cast a card during attack on the opponent's turn if you have an item equipped, nullify the attack, and rest a size 1 or less on the opponent's field. So you don't have to rest a size 1 or less, but I prefer to, because that means you're nullifying 2 attacks in 1, which is really nice. If you're playing like you're playing against Link Dragon Order, they have like the Agito that gives everything on your field double attack, and like Hara Hara and whatever. You can go, when they attack with like one of their cards singly, you could go cast Guard Pressure, rest one of their monsters, since all of them are size 1 or less, and then nullify the attack. So essentially, they lost 4 life. I mean, they didn't lose 4 life, but they can't gain 4. They lost the ability to gain 4 more life that turn. So whatever they would have had from that turn, if you want to have rested their monster, subtracted by 4. 4 of Garperry. Our last spell, you may only cast a card during attack on the opponent's turn, and you have a DD Dragon Tribe on your field. Nullify the attack and draw 1. Just like Guard Pressure, you can use it even if you have a center. My all-time spell lineup would be Combat Combat DD Dragon Shield, which is essentially charge 2 gauge, gain 2 life if you have a DD Dragon trap on your field, and you can have a center for it. This, and then guard pressure, because you can have a center for all of them, and all you need is a DD Dragon trap on the field, but for guard pressure you need an item, but still. Now to our items. 4 copies of Guard Cutlass, 5k power, 2 crit, pay a gauge to equip it, and then when it attacks, stand aside one or less DD Dragon trap on your field. So as you can see, this deck's kind of multi-attacking bit. This helps towards it. Like, say you wanted to restand Gale Gardra for a 3rd attack, or restand Nado Gardra for another 3 crit, and just spam it. 4 of our MVP item, and our last one, DD Dragon Sword Guard Radius, or Guardius, as I figured out. 6k power, 2 crit, pay a gauge when a Dragon monster on your field attacks, destroy a monster in the opponent's field, and burn your opponent 1 for it. Pretty much it's just there for pure burn stats. Onto our impacts, I'm going to save the best for last. 3 of Garga Blade Blast. You melee cast card during attack on the opponent when your opponent's at 5 life or less, and you've attacked 3 more times during this turn, and you have a drag on your field. So you can have a center, and so can your opponent. Pay 2 gauge, deal 5 damage, it cannot be reduced. Pure broken. If I had one more, I would actually run it, because that's actually working. That's why I run this deck aggressive. And then finally, our MVP impact. This one is my favorite of all impacts for several different reasons. Maybe because of the art, maybe because of its golden outline. I would have bought another 3 copies of this when I was trying to get, when I had like that Link Dragon order and all that, when my first Dra-Ultimate thing, but they were out of stock, unfortunately. But I would have totally actually bought another 3. 1 copy of DD Gargantua Punisher! Well, I appreciate this art. Like, look at it. The shininess and then, like, the gold outline. Not even the original SP or the Secret Pack one had it, but this one does. And it even has the text on it from the SP one. I win. If I ever use this card in a fight, even though I only own 1, if I ever pull it off, I'm gonna say I win before I declare final phase. And do it with the music like I did when I fought R. Okay, so you may only cast a card if your opponent's at 5 life or less, neither you or your opponent has a center, and if you have a dragon on your field. Pay 2 gauge, deal 5 damage. This card cannot be nullified, and the damage cannot be reduced. Basically, once you use that, unless your opponent happens to have something that changes their life, gives them life, or an impact, or something that notifies impacts, vanity cells, you're golden with that card. See the golden outline? You see what I did there? I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to. I hope you guys enjoyed. I haven't tried this deck yet, but I'm actually gonna probably enjoy it because I'm the type of guy who probably like a multi-attack deck. I haven't found my style yet, but I'm hoping this is my style because I've been interested in Gargas and multi-attack decks lately. So it's about time I figure out. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and donate to our Patreon, and I'll see you all in the next one.